Hi everybody, welcome back to the JEFFSCAVATOR channel. And today we are going to do a very important modification to my H15R. But I want to assure you, this is a modification you can do to any mini excavator and probably skid steer with very little effort and very little money. And it's very important. So today we are going to be adding a hydraulic temperature gauge to this unit. And you might ask, well, Jeff, why are you adding a hydraulic temperature gauge? There's a little thermometer thing on the side tank that tells you what the temperature is. Well, I can tell you right now that that's hard to read. Sometimes those numbers are off even on the calibration scale. I don't know who calibrates Fahrenheit and Celsius for Chinese paper manufacturers. And sometimes the paper is ripped or it shifts in space. And to be honest with you, because where they put that on the unit, it's here on the side tank. Hard to read. I can read it now. It says, I think 60, but again, when it's covered in fluid and you're, sometimes that gets dirty there. And here's the other thing. You're sitting up here. So when you're sitting up here in the seat, you can't see that gauge. So you'll be working away, temperatures will be climbing, and you know, in hydraulic fluid parlance, they say nothing good happens after 140 degrees, and there's a reason for that. That is the critical temperature at which the fluid starts to break down, and you start getting up into higher temperatures like 160 degrees. That's when seals and valves and things like that are inside the unit start to break down, your pump, your motor, everything. And 180 degrees, that's when you start to question every life choice you've made up to that point. And you may not even know you're there because you're sitting in that seat and suddenly you start losing hydraulic pressure and you're like, what's happening? And well, you're overheated your unit. So what I want to do today in this video is install the following. I bought this digital gauge here, and it reads in Celsius or Fahrenheit. We're going to put it in Fahrenheit. And it has a probe on it right here. This probe can be immersed in any non-corrosive fluid. Hydraulic fluid is non-corrosive, so it qualifies. And I assure you, I'm going to give you 3 different ways of electrifying this gauge right here. So the plan is this. We are going to put the gauge right here on the tank. This is where the probe is going to go. You have a couple options right here on, now this is the other thing. In the past, I didn't want to put a hydraulic temperature gauge on these units because where are you going to put it? You know, I thought you had to drill into the tank or put it on the filter. Like I have a filter on here, but unfortunately my filter does not have the 1/8 NPT threads on it, where you could thread in your own hydraulic temperature gauge and run the lines, etc. Well, even those are a little bit more complicated than what I'm about to do. So here's the plan. We're going to get that probe into that tank. How do you do it? You can drill right here through the top of this cap. If you don't have your lid like I do, where it's nice and easy to take off right on top of the tank, you can literally just drill a hole, take this off, of course. You don't want shavings going into your tank. You can take this off, drill a hole, and drop that probe through. What I am going to do, though, is I want to be able to get this lid on and off without the cord there. Now, if that was my only option, I would do it. I'm going to put the same unit on my Jansen MB500, and that one I'm going to drill right through the lid. It's a plastic lid. It's going right through. That's where the probe's going. But I'm going to drill the hole right here, right in this lid here. And it's going to go down into the tank. So what we're going to do for that is I bought these rubber plugs here. And these plugs here are going to go ahead and cover that hole that I drill. And we're going to thread the probe right down through one of these. I don't know which one I'm using yet. We'll get to that, but probably going to be this one right here. And the probe will go through that into the tank, and that's done. Now, wiring the unit. So you have some options here on wiring the unit. So for me, I want this mounted right here on this unit. So I'm going to mount this here. And so I need to cut a hole in the metal, and I need to run my wires down here, and I have my fuse blocks that I installed. So it's going to go right here on this fuse block for the power. And that fuse block is switched to the battery shut off. So when I turn that on, it will turn my thermometer on. You may say, Jeff, I have zero interest in messing with the wiring on my mini excavator. I'm never going to do it, so that's a non-starter for me. Well, I understand that. So here are your other options. Option number 1, you can buy a 9-volt battery box. This unit runs on 5 to 24 volts. So anything in between is fine. You can buy yourself a 9-volt battery case like this. It has an on-off switch on it. You can wire it right into this unit. Just snip these wires here, wire it in. You can either put this on to this unit with Velcro, or you can use hot glue, or you can keep them separate and put this somewhere else in a remote location. And guess what? You got power. And it costs you under 10 bucks, and it's ready to roll. The other option is if you have a unit like my Jansen MB500, that has a USB port on it, you can buy one of these with a USB port on it, a USB plug. So the only wiring that has to be done is plugging it in. If you have a cigarette lighter, you can buy the cigarette lighter adapter for USB like I did. This is how I will be putting this on my Jansen MB500, and it will take me probably under 10 minutes to install that unit on that unit. So this is going to be great. This one's going to take me longer today because I literally have to cut some holes in sheet metal. I have to actually do some real wiring and get that baby ready to roll. So it's going to take a little longer on this unit just because of I want to do it a little bit different, but you could easily do it in one of those 3 simple methods I showed you. You could put a battery pack on it and just stick it somewhere with Velcro tape, or you could hardwire it in like I'm about to do, or if you have a cigarette lighter port, plug it in with the cigarette lighter. So 3 ways of installing, super easy. You depend on how hard you want to make it. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing that we're going to want to do is measure where we're going to put this unit. I want to put it right here in the middle. Okay, the measurements are going to be 1 3/4 by 1. And I think I want to put it right here in the middle. Not a lot of room for error on this particular piece, given how, so I think about right there. Looks good. So we're going to mark off where the edge, where the top is. Now, what I should have done is I should have put some tape here, tape this whole area off so that I did booger up the paint a bit here. So I'm going to buy some of this paint here, and I'm going to have to do a little touch up. But you know what? It's okay. Look at that. That's pretty darn perfect. So my gauge is installed and it looks good. So we're going to take it back out, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we're going to wire this thing up. And you can do this any way you want, obviously, but we have our hot leads coming out, and they go into this disaster here, whatever it is, that we don't need. So we're just going to clip off this whole section here because we don't need any of that. So just go ahead and get rid of that. And now we got our leads here. And let's just strip these out, and then let's find out what this is going to look like. Because we're going to want to make sure that we put the unit the right side up. So let's go ahead and get some power to this. Okay, and there's our gauge, and that's what it's going to look like on our dash. So reading 66.2 degrees, which is pretty much correct. And I'm just going to take a look, and I think I'm going to do a mark on the top so I know which end is up on this. Okay, we're using this lid here. We're going to mark it. I marked a hole right there, or a mark. I'm going to put the probe in right through that hole. And as you can see, that'll put me down safely inside the tank. This is well outside the edge here, so we're fine. So I'm going to drill my hole right there. And I'm going to be drilling today with a 3/8 drill. So that should establish the right size hole that I need for this. Okay, that's all it took. Okay, then we're going to use a 3/8 cap from our kit. And we're just going to go ahead and take and just put our little seal right in here. And might be a little bit of a tight fit, but there we go. So we've got our silicone plug in now. And then I put a slit in the top of that, so you can now take your probe, push it right through, and just pull that through. There. And that's going to hold whatever position you want it to hold on your tank. So let's go back and get this installed now. And there we go. That's installed on the unit. And when we kick this on, our battery cutoff, this comes on now, 61.3 degrees. So I'm very pleased with how it came out. You can sit in the seat now and you can clearly see the temperature of your hydraulic fluid at all times. And if you didn't want to cut this hole in here and you just wanted to stick this on here with a piece of tape or Velcro, maybe drill one hole for the wires to go through, or just set it down here on top of the tank, use a 9-volt battery. This is a 10-minute. You saw me do it. This is 10 minutes to put this in. So do it. Just get it done and monitor those hydraulic. But please like and subscribe if you like the content, and hit the notification button so you see more videos when they come out. So until next time, this is Jeff with the JEFFSCAVATOR channel. And are you digging or are you filling?